نغم الصباح.
اوكي، لازم نسولف الحين مع شخص وايد شخصيته ممتعه. اللي صار بالضبط هو كالتالي: الشباب قاعدين بالمكتب اول امس مره واحده كان يدش عليهم واحد كان يقول لهم انا رحاله عالمي. اوكي، فريت 147 دوله، ومن بينها 147 دوله الكويت، ووايد حابها، وصار لي اسبوعين في هذا المكان. وايد استمتعوا بالحوار اللي صار بينهم وبينه، فقالوا لازم نقابلك، وما في احسن من انه يكون على مارينا اف ام. اي برنامج تختار فضل انه يكون معنا الصبح، وعشان كذي اسمه الصجي هو how do you say your name again? It's not Thor is like the easy way of saying it, but like the original name would be Torbjorn.
Well, that's very good.
Really?
Well done.
Did I just say it very correctly?
Perfectly. I thought you were Danish for a second.
Okay, so let me do it again. Okay, it's Torbjorn C. Pedersen, right?
Very good.
Okay, welcome to Nagham Al Sabah. This is the translation of the name would be the music, the melody of the morning, or the morning melody.
Sounds very nice. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. بلش بتاريخ 10/10 الساعة 10:10 الصبح بلشت مغامرة ثور في السفر لكل دول العالم، بشرط انه ما يستخدم الطيارة، فيتنقل من ديرة لديرة، واللي يصير بهالحالة عن طريق اما كانت وسائل المواصلات العامة، او انه بالمشي بالقاري ايا كان، بس ما راح يرجع الدنمارك اللي هي ديرته الاساسية الا بعد اخر دولة يزورها بالعالم. يعني هو بالضبط بيشطب على كل دول العالم. So Thor, tell me, how many countries have you been to so far?
So, well, since I left home in 2013, I've reached 147 countries.
147 دولة من هد بيته، وهذا كان في 2013. Why haven't you ever been on an airplane? Why? Like, are you scared of flying on airplanes, or
no?
It's against your rules, or how does it work?
It's against the rules. In 2013, we discovered that no one in history has been able to reach every single country in the world completely without flying.
Okay.
So this is an attempt to break that barrier and inspire people in the process. So if I fly, that would not be the record. If I go home, I wouldn't make the record.
Okay, so اللي قال بالضبط هو ان لان كل دول العالم ما تقدر تزورها الا بالطياره، فهو بيكسر هذا القانون. شفتوا التمرد ممكن يودي الواحد وين؟ نتيجه زينه. So what's the purpose behind this trip?
It's multifaceted. So one is to make a world record, push the envelope forward, and inspire people to go out and think out of the box and do something new. I try to educate people about the world. I try to stand in contrast to general media. Quite often when you turn on the television, it's just bombs and disease and corruption and so on. But when you go to each country, you start to realize people are just people. They like selfies and Instagram and so on. So I try to share the positive and the interesting about the countries. I try to entertain people as well.
Right.
And finally, I could say that I'm traveling as a goodwill ambassador of the Danish Red Cross.
Okay.
So I meet with the Red Cross crescent all around the world.
نايس. الهدف الاساسي من الرحله مثل ما قال انه هو يونس الناس يعني بفكرته المختلفه، انه ما يفكر التفكير التقليدي، لا ليش ما الواحد يطلع برا العالم، يروح يكتشف العالم، يشوف شنو فيه بالدنيا من اماكن ممكن الواحد يروح لها، مو بس يقعد بمكانه، ويلتقي بمنظمات مختلفه حق يعني نوع من التواصل مع العالم عشان يوصل رسالته اللي هي نوع من سفير النوايا الحسنه لهذه الدول. Have you been documenting this, like vlogging it, just photos? How does it work with you?
The project holds social media, so there's Instagram, which is widely popular here in this country.
It is very, yes.
Although
more than Facebook.
Well, Facebook is my most popular account.
Okay.
That's where we have the most followers.
Right.
And there's Twitter, there's a YouTube channel, and then there's a blog every Friday.
Awesome. Very interesting. I went through the blog, sorry, and it's I like the stuff that I've been reading, but it's very personal, and this is what I like the most about it. فهو قاعد يوثق رحلته عن طريق اكاونته في فيسبوك، وهم بالبلوج قاعد يكتب بمدونة شنو من التجارب قاعد يمر فيها، وهذا بشكل اسبوعي. And you also take a lot of photos, I assume.
I do.
Okay. All right. And I assume your favorite application in this case would have to be Google Maps.
I use Google Maps every day.
Okay.
That's how I got here.
Okay, so 100% بهالحالة راح يكون جوجل مابس هو الابلكيشن المفضل عنده. السؤال الأهم هو هل هذه الرحلة مكلفة ولا لا، وشلون يتحكم بمصاريفها؟ هذه اللي راح نعرفها الحين. Thor, tell me how expensive was this trip for you?
Well, in some ways you could say it's not expensive at all because
we always hear, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we always hear you can travel the world without spending as much as you think you're going to be spending.
That's true.
How does this work?
I have a budget of $20 per day, and my $20 cover elements that would be transportation, my meals, accommodation, and visas.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm
because
serious.
That's around 5 KD.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money.
5 KD, I can probably grab me and you coffee, and that's it. And that 5 KD is gone.
Well, a family took me in, so I'm sleeping on their couch.
That's very interesting.
I'm lucky to be here during the Ramadan, where people are extraordinarily generous.
Okay.
So I'm invited to iftar almost every night.
That's amazing.
And I do a lot of walking. I have been traveling around with your buses here as well, which are cheap.
Okay.
A taxi once in a while, but that almost blows my budget because the taxis are kind of expensive.
Interesting.
And I'm not getting a visa every day, so that's how that works.
And this, like the family that you're living with, can I know where they're from?
Yeah, sure. The husband is from Egypt. He's Masri.
Okay.
And the wife is Tunisian.
Okay,
so
very interesting.
Wonderful couple.
How did they find out about you?
Well, actually through my social media. So a guy in Austria has been couch surfing with them once before. And once I was coming in this direction, he sent me a message and said, do you know anyone in Kuwait? And I said, no. And he said, I'll hook you up with Mohammed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. هو عايش الحين عند عائلة الرجل مصري وزوجته تونسية واللي قاعد يصير هو أن بكل بساطة قاعد ينام على قنفتهم وواحد من متابعينه عرفه عليهم فيقول عادة بين فترة وفترة ينعزم على فطور فالموضوع ما يكلفه وايد وحاط حق نفسه ميزانية ألا وهي $20 يوميا يعني قريب ال5 دنانير 5 دنانير ونص إذا نبي نقول باليوم فيقول أحرص إني ما أفسفسها على ولا شيء غير التالي مواصلاته والاكل واي احتياجات ممكن تكون هل نقدر نعيش على 5 دنانير الموضوع نوعا ما صعب. Now tell me, now we know there are around 193 or 195 countries in the world.
That would be one way to count it for sure, yes.
Okay, but you said you want to visit 203 countries. How does it work?
It works like this. I've heard many different numbers, and it's very difficult to define what is exactly a country.
Okay.
So if you're sitting for dinner tonight and you ask people how many countries are in the world, you'd probably start a big debate, and some people say this is a country, some people say that's a country. Now, the lowest number I ever heard is 193. That would be the United Nations list.
Okay.
The highest I ever heard is from Jehovah's Witnesses, who say they're represented in 235 countries.
235 countries?
That's Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
So the truth is somewhere in between 193 and 235. If you look at United Nations, they have 193 plus 2 observatory states. That would bring you up to 195. Then you could add Kosovo to bring you up to 196. Many people also go by that. But the United Nations is a club. So if you're a member of United Nations, you have a membership number. That doesn't exclude other countries. So you could talk about, what about Taiwan? Why is Taiwan not recognized by United Nations?
Oh, it's not.
It's not, no.
I never knew that.
Yeah, well, many people didn't. You could argue from a religious point of view. You could say if the Vatican is recognized as a country, then why is Mecca not recognized as a country? Because the Vatican is sort of a religious center for Catholicism. And then you have, on the other hand, Medina also, Medina and Mecca for Islam. So you have religious points of view, you have political points of view, and so on. You have Palestine, which is a hot potato here in this region, where some people say, well, all of it is Palestine. Some say all of it is Israel. Some is saying it's 2 states, and so on and so forth.
But you want to cover them all.
I said, let's go big. So we said the United Nations country list, and then we added 10 countries. We divided the UK. We said we're counting Scotland, we're counting Wales, we're counting Northern Ireland, and counting Greenland, and so on and so forth.
Are you just alone on this trip?
I'm the only one traveling, but look at me. I'm sitting here with the 3 of you, so I'm never really alone.
Isn't that just awesome? Yeah. So هو يقول إن على حسب كلام الأمم المتحدة لأن هي يعني تحسب الدول على حسب نظام معين اللي هي اذا عندها العضويه فراح تكون دوله معترف فيها بالامم المتحده بهالحاله اما يكون 193 او 195 لكن في حسب دراسات ثانيه او على حسب نظام ثاني ممكن تكون هي توصل ل 203 دول او اكثر 235 دوله ممكن لكن هو ما راح يمشي لا على هاللسته ولا على لسته الامم المتحده راح يمشي على لسته هو بروحه وراح يغطي كل دول العالم وهو يسافر بروحه ما عنده ولا احد. Tell me about your fiance. Now you have been on the road for a good 4 years and so.
Yeah.
Okay, and she has come to visit you around 16 times, you just said.
Exactly.
Right? So how does this work? This is not a long distance relationship. This is more than a long distance. How does it work?
Well, in terms of distance, I've traveled 194,000 kilometers since I left home, so that's halfway to the moon.
Right.
But I am traveling on the same planet, so
Okay.
sometimes I get closer to home, and it's easier for her to come in and meet up with me. And obviously, she's allowed to fly, so she comes out when I pick her up in the airport.
Awesome.
She's a medical doctor back home in Denmark, and she's currently doing her PhD while trying to train to get ready for an Ironman, if you can believe that.
Wow.
So she's quite busy on her own, and we communicate every day.
Very interesting. هو عنده خطيبة، والخطيبة هذه طبعا دكتورة عايشة في الدنمارك، ومسموح لها على قولته أن تسافر بالطيارة، لأنه هو مو مسموح له هذا الشيء. لكن في هذه الحالة يقول خلال 4 سنوات اللي فاتت، تقريبا 4 سنوات وكم يوم، اللي هو صار له قاعد يسافر بهذه الرحلة مالته، انه يغطي العالم كله، وللحين واصل 147 دولة. هي زارته 16 مرة من بين كل هذه الرحلات. Okay. You've been to Kuwait now, and you've been here for a good 2 weeks. How has Kuwait been treating you, and how do you find Kuwait compared to the other countries? And be very honest.
Well, you know, sometimes can be dangerous, but I think I can afford it here because I'm having a really good time. People, they've been extraordinarily friendly. It's sort of like visiting several countries at the same time, because you have so many expats and you have these large groups either from Egypt or from India especially.
Right.
So I travel around for a bit and I feel like I'm in India. I travel a few more minutes, I feel like I'm in Egypt, and then suddenly I'm back in Kuwait again.
Right.
I think that several of my friends and several people have commented on that when I came here, what are you going for? It's just a desert, it's a very tiny country, it's all about money, it's all about oil, and it's just a gas station and things like this.
Right. We'll come to that gas station part, okay? But before we do this, let me introduce you to my colleague right here. صباح الخير. شغلي مايك.
شغلي المايك.
لا احنا ما ندلع المذيع. هم يشغلون مايك. صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
رشاش الهوب. جاية تستهدفين ضيفي عشان تخلينا واحد من ضحايا اللي عندك في برنامجك الساعة 4 العصر.
لا يا عمي جيت.
اتمنى لا هذا الشيء انه ما يصير يعني.
لا انا قلت انه first of all, hi, how are you? Welcome to Kuwait.
Thank you very much.
Have you been to Lebanon?
I've been to Lebanon, yes.
How is Lebanon?
She's Lebanese.
Yes.
There you go. Well, the food's very good. The people are nice, and the country has more history, which is actually I'd put it like this: you have so much history in Lebanon, it's unfair. You could send some of it to Denmark.
Yes, we have. Oh, really? Wallah, history, Mr. Thor. Yeah, I was listening through the radio. Lebanon is nice. I hope they just figure out what they want and take care of it. Politically, of course.
But politically, no one is ever going to find out what they want.
Exactly. But so what's the best dish you've had in Lebanon?
That is a very good question. I was eating a lot of street food, and I was staying in apartments, so I was cooking a lot on my own. But I think this, what you call meza, where you have
everything.
1 million.
Yes.
You can just dive into it.
Yes.
I like tabbouleh, I like baba ganoush a lot, and so I'll just dive into that.
بابا غنوج and tabbouleh. بس مشان تعرف يعني انه
وفتوش مع دبس الرمان يا الصايم.
يا سلام. ايه وبس سمعتك هيك تخليني ميل يا غزيل، جيت لعندك.
حياك الله.
تسلى انا وياك.
كارتك بطل الباب؟
دغري.
لان احنا قافلينه مخلينا بس من 4 للساعة 5 تدخلين المحطة.
دغري فتح.
Okay, حياك الله. So Thor, let's go back to what you think about Kuwait. Like, how different is Kuwait compared to the other countries?
Well, I think that Kuwait is a lot richer in many ways than what people they realize. And there's interesting architecture, which I enjoy. I come from Denmark. We have Copenhagen as our capital, and there's a political decision to keep the city flat. So we don't have these high-rises, sky-rises that you do here. Obviously, you have the beach and you have a number of other things. But I've been to a few museums that I enjoyed. I've been to a few parks that I enjoyed. I think that the Avenues Mall is extraordinary. I've received a lot of invitations for events.
Wow.
And something that I blog talked about last Friday is that really I think that the gold here in this country are actually the people.
Wow, thank you.
The connection between the people and the way that people they're able to liaison and you know, I've had a blast just networking with people since the day I arrived in Kuwait.
Kuwaitis seem to be very social when it comes to foreigners and different people from different countries. We are very social to start with, but when it comes to, oh, you come from this country, oh, let me hear more about it. So the Kuwaitis seem to be very interested in different people from different places. So هو وايد مستانس على سالفة انه هو وايد قاعد ينعزم على اماكن
هو
وايد.
سعيد جدا انه
انت بتسوين هذه الموضوع. قاعد احاول اني اتفاداها كثر ما اقدر. I want to tell you something. This show is very popular around the world. Okay. It's so popular that I'm going to play you something you're probably going to relate to more than anyone else here. Probably more than anyone in the country.
No, I'm curious.
Okay, and it starts now.
Hello from Copenhagen. Du lytter til Nagham Al Sabah med Talal og Nuf på Marina FM.
There you go.
Well done.
Yeah, thank
He's
you.
homesick.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm leaving the studio now.
All right. Did she really say that you're listening to Nagham Al Sabah?
Yeah, she did, and she said welcome as well.
Okay. هذه كانت واحدة من المستمعين اللي كانت زائرة الكويت وهي أساسا من الدنمارك.
What's the language? What's the language?
Danish.
We speak Danish in Denmark. The secret language.
How do you say good morning? How do you say good morning?
It's very close to good morning. We say god morgen.
Good morning.
Yeah,
and that's
good
it.
More.
Like a lot shorter.
It's faster. Good morning.
Okay, I'm sure you have so many different things that you want to go catch up with in the rest of your day, but I want to listen to two things.
Right.
What's the funniest situation, the weirdest, the strangest thing that's ever happened to you around the world, and then in Kuwait? All right, so like internationally and Kuwait.
Actually, that's a tough question to answer. There are many quirky, different situations and so on. Now, since we have a Lebanese in the studio, I might just bring up a story which was a bit odd. Lebanese is very firm about its security. It's a wonderful country for so many reasons. But security it's very adamant about that. So I had great difficulties getting into Lebanon. I arrived on board a container ship from Cyprus.
Wow.
And
container ship.
It's impossible to get on board a container ship, and somehow I managed.
Right.
And we arrived to Beirut, which is the capital city, and then the general security, they said, no, you cannot disembark here because you can't. And we asked why, and they said no. And then I had to stay on board the ship, and the ship continued to Egypt. And then I got off in Alexandria, and then I quickly raced to Port Said, and then managed to get on board a second container ship, and then I was on my way back to Beirut again. And when I arrived to Beirut, then the general security said no. And again, we asked what's the problem, and I'm a Danish citizen, and this time I even had a visa, even though I should be able to get a visa on arrival. They just said no without no further reason. So I had to stay on board the ship, and it went back to Cyprus again. So I spent a month going from Cyprus to Cyprus. Then finally I crossed to the northern part of Cyprus. I took a ferry to Turkey. Then I traveled in Turkey for a bit, found a ferry from Turkey, and then I came to Trablus, to Tripoli. In Lebanon. And then they all said, welcome, no problem, welcome to the country. Then I was in Lebanon.
Crazy.
I was in Lebanon like almost forever because I was trying to get the visa for Syria. So I was there for more than 100 days, which is a record within this project. And then when I went to Syria, I came back to Lebanon, and then I wanted to go on board a third container ship. And there was this container ship waiting out there, and they were saying, yeah, you're welcome, no problem, come out here. So I was trying to leave the country, and now the general security, they said, no, you cannot go on board the ship. You cannot leave like this. So I was trying to say, well, what if I want to swim? Then definitely you have to stamp me out, and they say, no, you cannot, this and that. So actually, because of all this relationships and networking and all this, and wasta sometimes also.
Yes. I can tell now you've been long enough in this country to know this word.
Yes. You know, not in Lebanon, in Jordan, they call wasta for vitamin wow.
Exactly, we call it the same.
Also here.
Exactly.
I like that.
I guess,
Like just vitamin B gives you energy, vitamin D is good for the skin, vitamin wow gets everything running in your day.
Well, to finish it off, this guy, he contacts a family member who's a retired general. The retired general, he likes what I'm doing, the project, so he goes down to the port, he speaks to general security. Nobody has a problem with the situation. They give me a call, they say you can go on board the ship. 2 hours before I go on board the ship, they're still in doubt if they should let me ask me, have you been to Israel? And I'm looking at them saying, I can understand that you have issues with Israel, but I'm leaving your country. What if I have been to Israel? You're going to keep me in Lebanon for the rest of my life. But no, I said, I've never been to Israel, and that's true. So they stamped me out and they said, have a nice journey, and then I finally left.
But I hope like the trip in the middle that you had fun.
I had an amazing time. I love history, and you have so much history in Lebanon.
That's great. Have you been to Baalbek?
I went to Baalbek, yes.
سمعت؟
شنو هذا؟
راح بعلبك.
Okay, good.
عضياتنا.
أنا بروح بعد.
بس عشان تعرف بس.
Okay. أنت الحين من بعلبك ولا مكان ثاني؟
علبة. Oh my God.
أمس قلتي مكان ثاني. يعني من عرفتك للحين قال 13 مكان تقريبا.
Seriously؟ أنا من كل لبنان.
الكل ضحك اللي هو لأنه مصدق السالفة. Alright, so بس عشان ترجم على السريع اللي صار إنه حشته وايد مشاكل رشا وهو يبي يطلع من قبرص يروح أكثر من مكان. يعني ديرتك لازم تكملهم.
كونتينر يعني أكيد ما راح يخلوه يفوت.
يا جماعة إحنا نسافر إيكونومي ويصير فينا والله يحظهم اللي قاعدين بالبزنس وبعدين لما يصير الموضوع كونتينر يعني شنو كونتينر يعني بالضبط سفينة فيها وايد صناديق وهو قاعد بينهم بيروح ديره لديره بس كميه المشاكل اللي ممكن يحصلها وهو جوازه المفروض يكون وايد قوي صح جوازه المفروض يكون واحد من اقوى الجوازات بالضبط okay so this is a question from one of our listeners she says what's your zodiac sign
I can't remember what it's called in English. It's the one with the bow and the arrow.
The bow and the arrow.
Is that Sagittarius?
Sagittarius. Okay, so you were born on which day?
December 19th.
December 19th. Okay. Okay. تليفونك يسوي مشاكل اي يسوي ازعاج رده يمكن بنتك قاعد تدق عليك
ممكن يلا حرد.
Okay, and so just
that was a very original question, by the way.
Right.
I get many of the same questions. No one's ever asked me what my star sign is.
Because a lot of people relate this, and we do here in Kuwait. We are like firm believers. Zodiac signs.
Is it a good thing to be Sagittarius?
Okay, so you're Sagittarius, and what about your fiance? Like when was she born? What's her birthday? Oh. عشان تعرفون ان مو بس الاسباني ما يحفظ حتى الدنماركي ما يحفظ. It's okay. We can move on to the next question. Okay, so
I know her name.
Okay, that's good. Do you know where she is now?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay. Does she know where you are?
She does. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. All right, so just to like, I'm sure it's been very interesting. We've been on air for like what around 25 minutes right now. That's not something we usually do, but I need to listen to the story of the Kuwaiti taxi driver once you arrive to Kuwait.
October 27 is.
Oh, you know the date. Oh, she is. Oh, okay. Sorry. October 27th. She is a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yes. And she's exactly before Sagittarius. So, see, Scorpio women are very kind and good people. Scorpio men can be a little tricky. Okay. We'll talk about that off the air. But right now, tell me about the Kuwaiti taxi driver. يا جماعة وصل الكويت على الحدود. You were coming from Iraq, right?
That's right.
Okay, فكان جاي من العراق وأول ما دخل حدود الكويت في سايق تاكسي وايد علق عليه ان انا اللي راح اوصلك وعشان اوصلك لمدينة الكويت راح اخذ منك 30 دينار. I need to hear the story.
Okay. Well, the story isn't much different than what it is at many other borders around the world, to be honest. Because if you're a foreigner, then a lot of taxi drivers will actually try to take advantage that you don't know what the price is, you don't know what the distance is, you don't know the culture, and you don't know things like this. And taxi drivers, like any other people around the planet, people are just people. So you find good taxi drivers and you find the ones that are trying to trick you.
Exactly.
And so I crossed the border and it was 1 million. Felt like I arrived on the sun or something like this.
So is Kuwait the hottest country you've been to?
It's in the top 3 or 4. I mean, like, I was in Sudan at a time when it was really hot. I was in Chad at a time when it was really hot.
Okay.
And Libya as well was quite hot.
Okay. So you arrived to Kuwait.
Yeah, it's hot. And I arrived to a parking lot, your wonderful public transportation. A bus brought me there, but then it didn't go further.
Okay.
So it just brings people between Iraq and Kuwait. And immediately this taxi driver, he comes to me and says, let's go. And I say, well, do you know where I'm going? So yeah, Kuwait City, let's go. And I say, well, how much do you want for this? He said, no problem, just get in.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for 4 years and 8 months. And
so you're sure it's not generosity at all, in any form?
I've had my conversations with a million taxi drivers, and there are those that are far crueler than this one for sure.
Whoa, okay.
So no, I'm not going to get into a taxi without knowing how much. I don't want to be tricked like that. So we talked for a while, and then finally he says he wants $100 to go. And this is like a maximum of a 1.5 hour drive, probably. I know that because I have Google Maps, I know the distance and so on.
Right.
And I'm from Denmark, so compared to Denmark, petrol here is free.
Exactly.
You're so blessed.
Yes, we are.
And you pay about 1/10 of the cost that we do back home. And I know that the prices went up threefold
yes, they
here.
did. They did.
But you're still 1/10 of
I mean, we still miss the old days. Like yesterday, I filled up my tank, and it was around 8 kd. Okay, it was 4 kd a couple of years ago.
The good old days.
Yeah, you can just imagine. But hey,
but you go back far enough, you would had a horse, so like
exactly
something in between.
And Kuwait is small; you can always,
Yeah. So I said no way. I have a $20 per day budget. I'm not gonna blow it 5-fold on a taxi.
He doesn't know about the $20 rule.
In any case, I wasn't going to pay $100 for a taxi. I'd rather walk the distance.
Okay.
So I tried to tell him I'll find a different solution. He says there's no other way, and we debate for a while. And I say, well, there must be a bus. And he says there's no buses. And I say, well, I'll find a truck or a car, and I'll ask if I can go with them.
Hitch a ride.
Hitch a ride. And he says, no, it's not possible. I have to go now, and so on. And then an Egyptian shows up.
Okay.
And he says, well, actually, the bus is coming in 2 hours if you can wait.
Okay.
And this really upset the taxi driver, of course. So then I went like, okay, what's the bus? And the bus is 1.5 kd. So I said, oh, well, that's fine for me. And then the taxi driver, he started negotiating more seriously. He said, well, I'll take you for $50. I said, no, like I can take a bus for 1.5 kd. So I went inside this hut with the Egyptian. And then after a while, the taxi driver came back, and he was really upset and desperate. And it was hot, and probably he needed to make some money, and he might have a family that he needs to take care of, and all these things.
Yeah.
And he said, no, come on, I'll give you a better price, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I'm fine. I can wait this 2 hours, 1.5 hours. And then he leaves again angry, and then he comes back after a while, and he says, okay, let's go, $10, I will take you. And I say, no, listen, like it's only 1 hour waiting now. I'm fine. And then I think you were a bit dishonest with me to begin with. So I don't really trust the situation. I will go with this for 1.5. And then he shouted a lot of things in Arabic, and I think I might be cursed. But it was all good, and I didn't see him again.
Unforgettable story يا جماعة. هو أول ما وصل الكويت وهو جاي من حدود العراق قابله واحد قال له أوكي يلا نمشي. قال له وين؟ قال له يلا نمشي. أكيد بتروح مدينة الكويت. قال له أوكي بس كم؟ كان يقول له ما يخالف اركب أنت. نفس طريقة أغلب سواق التكاسي فأغلب الدول. فكان يقول له زين امش نروح. قال له كم؟ قال له أوكي يلا $100 يعني تجري ب30 دينار. وهو حاط حق نفسه قانون إن مواصلاتي وأكلي وكله على بعضه ما تتعدى $20 باليوم الواحد. فيعني 5 دنانير وهو بيقض 30 دينار على بس يعني يروح مكان. المهم وياه حاولوا مني ومناك لين واحد مصري شافه كان يقول له اكتي معي عشان ننطر الباص لان في باص يودينا لمدينه الكويت ب1.5 فاستانت على السالفه. هذاك قام يعصب وحاول نزل له بالسعر بس بالنهايه الريال مشى والاخ ثور ركب الباص وراح الكويت بس شنو ب1.5. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being such a human about doing things in life. It's been 4 years. I'm sure life can be very, very hard at times, and you start questioning things like, why did I begin with this?
For sure, yes. I want to go home. So
you miss home
a lot.
Okay. What's the thing you miss the most about?
More countries. I miss. Well, I forgot her star sign, and so I better say I miss her.
Okay.
No, I miss.
She's a Scorpio.
I do miss her, and I miss speaking my own language. I miss going into a shop and knowing everything there is to know instead of trying to work out what package oatmeal is in and stuff like that.
Right.
I miss wearing my normal clothes. I miss having a shower in my apartment, going for a run in the neighborhood, coming back, listening to Danish radio.
Okay.
Just being able to call a friend and say, let's go out tonight and meet, instead of getting in touch with a friend and said, you want to Skype tonight?
Right.
I miss not living out of a bag.
Okay. So what's in your bag? How many pieces of clothing?
A lot. I like to be presentable. I don't want to wear clothes with holes in or that's dirty and so on. So I wear the same uniform every day, but the shirt that I'm wearing now, I have 5 of those, and then I have 5 polo shirts in the same design. I have plenty of clothes. I have a sleeping bag. I have a hammock. I have a mosquito net for the hammock. I carry some books. I carry electronics. I carry some running shoes. I've been running twice here in spite of the heat, and that was because of you have this wonderful park. And I don't know if everybody agrees, but I certainly think it's an amazing park. The
Shahid Park?
Shahid Park.
Yeah,
and it
it's a
just
beautiful
invites for running, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's been for a couple of years now. It's just another level of public parks.
It's amazing you can build something like that in the desert, isn't it?
In the middle of Kuwait City.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Thor, thank you for being here. Again and again and again. We'd love to chat with you a lot more, but we just broke the number one rule of the show, which is we don't talk over 5 to 10 minutes. But now we've been on air for around 30 minutes continuous. Okay?
Thank you for your kindness.
Absolutely. And the next trip or the next destination is going to be?
Well, if I can get my Saudi visa, I'll go to Saudi. If I get the Iran visa and I don't get the Saudi, I go to Iran.
Okay, يا جماعة عنده مشكلة بأنه يحصل فيزا حق السعودية وفيزا حق إيران. I think Iran is easier now than Saudi.
They said I will get it next week.
Okay. ممكن يحصلها الأسبوع الجاي لكن فيزا حق السعودية لازم هم مو مقتنعين هو ليش من الدنمارك هو من الدنمارك بس يا الكويت ومن الكويت يبي يدش السعودية يبونه يروح ديرته وهو أساسا حالف إنه ما يطب ديرته إلا بعد ما يخلص كل دول العالم. How many countries do you have left?
56.
باقي له 56 دولة.
So 2020 and I'll be going home.
Okay. All right. And if it's one thing that you've learned from all of this, what is it?
I learned that the media generally is a horrible ambassador for what the world is like.
Thank you. Yes. It is. Very true.
Yeah.
It's the biggest lie.
People are just people, and all around the world, people that like football and their children and watching movies and standing in line and getting stuck in traffic and all this stuff.
And the last thing would be, if it's one country that you would recommend for people to go visit besides Denmark, what would it be?
Kuwait.
Really?
Of course.
Okay, for us, which country would it be? Where can I go this summer?
Well, you're already in Kuwait, so you're kind of lucky. Then you should come to Denmark.
I should. I'm going to go somewhere really close to it, but definitely Denmark is on the list. I was in Stockholm around a year ago.
Oh, you were?
And I'm a big fan of design. And a little piece of design that I saw had made in Denmark written on it.
Unbelievable,
so I was like,
because Sweden has IKEA.
It does, but I never saw IKEA in Sweden. That's the funny part.
Well, maybe they're smarter there.
Well, maybe they're just hiding it because I was there. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
What's the one song you listen to on your way because it's the song that really gets you, gets your day going?
I listen to a lot of different stuff. I listen to... well, of course, I can't think of anything right now.
But if it's one thing on your phone that you go into that playlist and you just play that song.
There's an Icelandic song where they sing in Icelandic, and it's called Heimføring, which is about going home.
All right.
So I listen a lot to that.
Okay, I'm sure we don't have it, but I can play you something in the almost same meaning.
How about this?
What?
There's a song from a Danish artist, and she sings in English. So I
Mo?
think, no,
Okay.
but good guess. Her name is Tina Dikov.
Oh,
Dikov, but
not that I'm familiar with.
No.
I also did the music on the station, so we only have Mo and what about Tovolo? Tovolo is Swedish. No, Tovolo is Swedish.
The song is called On the Run.
Yeah. Well. All I can say is thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we're definitely going to meet up some other time.
I hope so.
But yeah, thank you for choosing Marina FM to be the station that you're on.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much.
نغم الصباح كل يوم من 6:30 ل 9:30.